Hello, everyone. Apparently, I'm feeling theatrical today. Oh, everybody. Excuse me. How's everyone doing? Now, you may say, Patrick, I thought that there was like a career fair today or something. So, first of all, the career fair, like I think I said, or maybe I didn't. Um, all of the jobs are online. Like, and it's always that way. So you just like you show up and you talk to people to try to make a good first impression, and then after 5 to 10 minutes, 10 at the most, they tell you, okay, apply online. Now usually it's pretty hot on these days, and so you got people in full on business suits, girl, trying to make a good impression, and like sweating buckets. I'm like, ooh, it ain't worth it. But I was looking through, so I finished looking through all the companies yesterday. And there were a few interesting companies. There was one, maybe that was on the other channel. There was one pharmaceutical company that's really, really, really interesting. But their program doesn't start until like next year. It was like next September. Why do I always talk about my personal life? I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I didn't find anything that spoke to me. And the more I didn't find, the more it felt like there was one. I don't want to say just one, but it felt like there was one shining one somewhere in the distance. And I just, so yesterday and the day before, it was all about scheduling those like little pre interview slots. Um, and so today I decided to go back to the website to see the updated postings since the career fair is actually today. Some people wait until like the day of to post their stuff. Um, and I looked and there's still nothing. And last night, part of me felt that like I would have to do a little bit more research and reach out myself, because it's like the more I find that doesn't work, the more sure I am that like, ooh, there's the sun and the King of Pentacles. It's like the more I don't find, the more sure I am of what I know I'm being led to do. And it's like I'm getting sure to the point where I'm releasing like hesitation, because it's like nothing else is it. And I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if that's me just being whatever, but I'm reaching a point in my life where it's like whatever I do, I want it to mean something. Um, I'm the type of person who like I honestly do like to help people, especially the people that I care about. And there is a sort of selfish part of me that's like, if I can't help someone that I care about, then there's a part of me that it naturally tries to avoid them. But it's like I don't like feeling powerless to help the people that I care about. I don't like not having anything to offer. Um, and I remember one time my mom was in the hospital, and like I wanted to talk to her, but I didn't, because there was nothing that I could do to like, take that pain away or that discomfort or whatever. But it is what it is. So anyway, that's enough about my personal life. The hunt continues, but it seems I'm going to have to be a lot more proactive than I initially thought. But that's fine, because it's like I said, like I feel like there's the one that's for me is just continuing to shine brighter and brighter and brighter. Oh, there's that Wheel of Fortune with the 3 wands. I feel like it just continues to shine brighter and brighter. Just like my setup today. Can you even see this? Bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. So what we're going to do today is this thing that I've done on my legacy channel, on the new channel. And I feel like I'm starting to realize just how much I've done over there and how much I haven't over here. But that's fine, because this channel It's like this is the channel. The other channel is the one where I can like completely, totally, 100% be myself, or more completely be myself and just like tell it how it is and like go all the way in. On this channel, I try to not go as deep or be so harsh, I guess, maybe. But there's this thing that I've done a few times over there. It's like a build with me, where we use the cards to build a spread, and then we see what's up. Now, I haven't decided what deck I want to use with this. I might use the Affirmators. I don't think I'll use the SKT, but we'll see. So what happens is the first card is the number of cards that are going to be in it. The second card is the title, and then the third card is the vibe. And if I need more cards to like show me how to like lay it out, then I'll get inspiration from that. And then we just kind of sort of go from there. And then I build it like I build anything else. So usually I wait for cards to come out, but today we're gonna do this thing because this is feeling right. So yeah, I'm procrastinating a little bit. Not really, but like I feel like there's some value that this gives to somebody, or maybe it's just me, and it allows me to feel like I'm doing something for someone. Because I know that there's a lot happening in the world right now, but it's like in my mind, the only thing that's really helpful, because it's like, we as individuals can't necessarily change what's happening. So in my mind, it's like, we handle the things that is within our power to handle. And that's the best I can kind of sort of do for folks right now. If I try to like tap into all of what's going on, it's a lot and it's heavy and there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't like feeling like that. I don't like feeling like there's nothing that I can do in a situation. And so sometimes I do kind of sort of distance a little bit, unfortunately. And it's not because like I'm annoyed at someone and their problems or whatever. It's just that like I don't like feeling like I can't do something for the people that I care about. So let's start at the back. So the Basilisk, 9 of Swords. Oof. This is perfect for this channel, and I know what deck I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Ascendant edition, no, the Journeyman edition of the Weaver Tarot, because that it's all about limitations. Basilisk turns creatures into stone by looking at them. Or is that the Cockatrice? I think it's also the Basilisk, and the Basilisk can run on water. So that I can't remember. I'm starting to go live on both of these channels so much I can't remember what I did where. But yesterday at some point, no, it was on the new channel because I just changed the thumbnail for it. There was this thing that came out yesterday about basically the Basilisk is about like us not engaging with that emotional space because it runs on top of the water instead of like being submersed in it. And so there's this separation, and then it also turns things to stone, right? So there's an energy of petrification, and it's almost like because it's not connected to itself, it can't connect to others. And so there's this like stony, emotionless, inability to see beneath the surface type energy. Okay. The title is going to be The Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman spread. Page of Swords. Well, we'll see. Yeah. That's how this works, y'all, because I don't like coming up with titles, so I let it do it for me. And I got my handy dandy little surface book right here. So we'll do the Headless Bread. I want to use this one. I'll just grab the other one. 1 second. Where is it? It's right here. I'm gonna try not to smack the camera. There's, you know, those things that you can't run away from in life. I'm feeling a little bit of that, and also like I don't even know what it is that I can't run from because I don't know where to go to. But I also know that it'll be revealed to me, and like I said, the more I don't find the thing that resonates, the more I know that I gotta do what I gotta do, even if it's a little daunting. Um, but I'll be fine. I do kind of enjoy this space a little bit. I like being challenged. Headless Hunter, what? No. Horseman. Headless Bread. Last time I saw the Headless Horseman, it was on this channel in the weekly release, and I was like, he's headless and heartless. And it's like if you can't connect to your heart, if you can't connect to the emotional side of things, it gives you a limited perception already. Not everything in real life can be analyzed or intellectualized, especially things that happen in our personal lives, and especially when it comes to, because it's like, it's also like spiritually disconnected, and there are certain spiritual or certain universal truths that the understanding of man has not yet caught up to, and so it would be incapable of recognizing that. And that's the stony exterior. You can't penetrate the stone, so you don't see it as it actually is. You don't even see it with color. And the number of cards is 8. That's not too bad. 8 of Pentacles, the zombie. So 8 cards. Headless Bread. And the theme here is the Basilisk. Sure, I'll pull another card for the layout. So for the layout, we got the 9 of Cups, the Kraken, which automatically gives me like octopus type vibes. And so we're going to do something like this. 1, hold up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll just slap this right here for 8. This is going to be 1. This is 2, 3. And y'all see this in a second. 4 and 5. So I got to redo the boxes. Now, I can't, it's been a while since I've done this over there. And I know sometimes I pulled cards because I wanted it to build itself. That's why I did it. We're actually going to go 6, and then 7, and then 8 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 4 and 5 are orange instead of yellow. And I'll show y'all in a second. So, like, if you have a deck of cards, like, this is something fun that you can do, I guess, or not. I was really, really, really into building spreads for a hot minute. I made it through, I was building spreads through the Major Arcana, and I made it through to I finished the Lovers. I didn't do the chariot, but somehow I jumped ahead to the hermit. So, so I skipped both the chariot and strength, and I made the hermit spread. But that's fine. I was following it in order. Um, this is the format that I'm working with right now. And if I had more cards, I can make it more octopusy, but I can make it more like an octopus. But I want it to be fairly contained. And so let's pull a clarifier for this one. And it's the King of Cups, the Orc. Oof. So this is a lot of motion. Okay. But then this flips things. This flips stuff. I love doing this digitally because then I can just like move stuff without having to erase it. Let's slide all this down. This is about to change quite a bit. Ooh, I like this. I'm gonna have to slide this down even more. Where's my insert space? There we go. Oh wait. There's a song that just popped into my mind. I believe it was from Naruto. And there's a line when they're like, the closer you get to something, the harder it is to see it, and I'll never take you for granted. And that just popped into my mind. Like, the closer you get to something, the harder it is to see it, and I'll never take you for granted. Let's go. And then there's a let's go. And then the show starts. How do I want to do this? 1 second, y'all. Because I know how I want to, but sometimes when I build spreads, like directionally and numerologically, like I like to have it sort of make sense. And I'm trying to decide if I want. This is a lot I'm trying to decide. I'll have a timestamp in the description box of when I actually start pulling cards. And this isn't how I typically build spreads. This is just something that I started doing because it was like a few days I wanted to pull some cards and I didn't necessarily know what. So I was just like, oh, I'll let the cards decide. So that's what I did. And then it turned into some like build with me, and then we read it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 That makes sense. Yeah. All right. I should have just did it the way I felt it. Because I'm like, is that how I really want to do this? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I want to do this. Now, I am operating with limited space, so I may not be able to lay these out as the spread is built, but that's fine. Yeah, I won't. I definitely won't. I don't have enough space, but that's fine. Okay. And I think I know how I want to do this. Oh, this is coming together. It's coming together. All right. Let's see. Oh, 1, 2. This is so entertaining. I guess I could like put this down here. So I've changed it this way now. I know I have like my overhead light on, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult. There you go. Oh, well, I could do it this way, even better. And since this is digital, I could even zoom in. Hey, I'm still figuring. Oh, come on, come on! I'm still figuring out the numbers. Orange is from the bottom of the deck. Yellow is from the top of the deck. There we go. There it is. So I've switched it because now we have a King of Cups energy, and so there's this separation between water and air, and so it creates this sort of imbalance where the things that we're supposed to be a little bit more connected to beneath the surface are being capped off by this air, and so the beneath the surface is from the bottom of the deck, and then the air is being capped off from something beneath the surface, and that's the bottom of the deck. So and that's why I was like, well, I don't know like which side I want what to fall on, and it kind of goes flip what I just said because it's so interesting though because everything is like it's not as it seems. It's inherently like backwards, and I actually don't know if I'm gonna use. I may be reevaluating the deck I'm gonna use too. I don't think I will. I can still use that deck. It may not show up on camera, but I can use it. Excuse me. So now I'm piecing together like how I want to the order that I'm gonna pull in. So, because I know how I want to. Yes. Okay. This is how I want to do it. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But I might switch these. 1 second. I think this is fine. Yeah. Hold on, wait. Yeah. This it's perfectly okay. Why am I overcomplicating things? Yeah. It's like if I just do it how it's naturally coming to me, it would be exactly what I want, but it's like, oh, I gotta make this make sense to me before I just let myself do it. And maybe that's me, maybe that's speaking to the space that I'm in right now. But at the same time, so I was about to just start applying for stuff that I didn't even necessarily want. But it's like, why would I even put an energy of distraction out there? just to like have something to fall back on. I'm not in fall back on type energy right now because I'm being guided a little bit more specifically than that. So, I'm trusting. Okay. So, now let's get into this. I think I did actually lay out cards for the positions. Darn it. Darn it. So I'm going to do it. Now, these I'm going to pull all off the top. Well, I won't. I'll pull them in the order. High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck now. I'll pull it in the order that I'll pull them out. And then it allows, like, the story will complete itself. Like, the cards build pretty much everything. The only thing I've really decided is the number. Because I even try to, like, I'll pull the card for the layout. Why did Hark the Herald Angel sing Glory to the Newborn King? Just pop into my mind. Oh, it may be time to listen to some Christmas music today. Okay. How am I doing this? I already forgot. 1, 2, 3. See, I'm not gonna have enough space. I don't think I'm gonna have enough space. Oops. 4, 5. Yeah, I will. 6, 7. Oh, I think I might want to change 8. Yeah, I'll pull 8 from the middle. 8. Ooh, bottom of the deck is the Tower. And then we have a stone gargoyle right there. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, Where's my phone at? 82% charged. 1 second. I'm going to change the title of this video really quick. No, I'm not. I'll do it later. I say that my Chiron and Leah was healed. But y'all notice that I don't change the titles until after I'm done recording because I ain't necessarily trying to get a bunch of traffic. Yeah, this works. Okay. So position number 1. This is the limitation. And it is 7 of Wands, Mummy. So it's restrictive. It almost feels like someone who has been working a crap job for 40 years and they're 5 years from retirement. I don't know how long people work until they retire. But they're 5 years from retirement, and so they're there's almost a liberation in that because it's almost over, but at the same time I must sound like I'm so disconnected from reality. I know that you need money to eat, shelter, food, housing, pay bills. I know that. But I think sometimes it's we could strike a better deal with ourselves if we adjust the way that we live and we do something that we enjoy a little bit more. Unless you can find something that you enjoy that you make lots of money in, then you hit the jackpot. Or that's what people used to say to me. But it's it's prolonging something Anyway, that was the feeling that just came to my mind, okay? And this is a blockage. So I'll just say a way that we feel immobilized. Usually the Seven of Swords is, or the Seven of Wands is a card of being at some type of advantage. But I guess you think like you're at an advantage because like you're gonna retire in 5 years. Next card is the Ten of Swords, Griffin. Oof. Okay, I need to understand which side I'm working on. Okay, yeah, work. Okay. This is the sacrifice. And then we'll see how if this actually works. Next is the Four of Wands, the Fairy. That's the wish. Or the dream. Slash Vision of Freedom. Oh wait, why did I switch the color? And then we have the High Priestess. Yep, see? I told y'all. I'm loving this. And this is the message from the divine. I could have said like higher message or something, but that's fine. Five is the Page of Cups. Like, look at this energy over here. Like, because if this is where it was supposed to be, we'd have the Four of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Page of Cups. But now we got this. We'll see what these two are from the air side. Oh, goodness. Okay. Can y'all hear the lawnmower? It's not going right now, but my dad is out there cutting the grass. Oh, number five, the Page of Cups. This is, I want to say like the preferred activity. It's the big break. That's the lotto. That's the whatever where you can just say, I know I'm like 5 years from retirement, but I quit this crap job. I just won the lottery. I don't need no money. Hey. So like this is the dream. Like this is the end, and this is like the thing that gets us here. If that makes sense. I mean, when I actually pull cards, we'll see if it makes sense, right? So six is the Eight of Wands, Hydra. Now the Eight of Wands is a great energy, but the Hydra is not. The poison of the Hydra is incurable. It's actually what got Chiron. Excuse me, because Chiron was immortal, he never died, but he was forever incapacitated to some degree by that poison. And he got really, really, really good at healing other people because he, you know, with a lifespan of immortality, imagine how much time you have to try to cure your ailment only for nothing to work, but for everything else under the sun, you have a tincture. So six is the Hydra. And so, Eight of Wands, this is. Well, I've been feeling the Eight of Wands lately as divine intervention, and to a higher degree, divine understanding. And the High Priestess is here. Oh, I want to put another card on this. Because I want to say, like, this is what we understand from this. And the reason why I want to put another card on it is, like, what do we get from the High Priestess energy? And what were we supposed to get from the High Priestess energy? But I guess that's what the High Priestess will be. Like, she will say what it is that we're supposed to get, and then this will be, like, what we actually got. So this is the relief / message received. Yeah, that feels good. That feels right. 7 is the Five of Pentacles Shaman. Yeah, see, these should be switched, but that's fine. Five of Pentacles Shaman. And it's interesting because the Shaman is another energy that communicates with the realm of spirits, right? But more natural spirits. Hey, Miss Vernell, how are you doing today? I don't know how long you've been there. Ooh. Oh, only a minute. That's not too bad. How are you doing today, Miss Vernell? So, hold up. This is a card of petitioning. Oops. Because here's like us receiving a message, but this is when we go asking for it. But not necessarily it. I'm actually building a spread right now. I'm using the cards to build a spread right now. And then I'll actually decide what deck I want to use to see if it works. So right now I'm still figuring it out. And I'm glad to hear that you're good. Five of Pentacles Shaman. Well, if we follow the story, so this, because it's like if you win the lottery here, you got to buy a ticket. So this is the buying of the ticket. So this is acting out on this. Oops. To take us out of the situation. So we can like retire early or quit. Oh man, this one was already difficult enough to build because it feels like twisted. But it's that basilisk. It's that Nine of Swords. I'm telling you, when you're in the Nine of Swords state, there's a whole bunch of sense that will make sense. There's a whole bunch of stuff that will make sense to a stressed brain. Where it's like, man, if I was like fully rested, I would have seen right through that. If I was fully rested, I would not have been tricked. I was sleep deprived. I was out of my mind. But how do I like write that? I guess this is the action that we take. or the action that we feel led to take to get here, especially coming after this, right? Because all of these are from the top. So here's the message received. Here's the action taken. And then the 3, 4, 5 all came from the bottom. 4 of Wands, High Priestess, Page of Cups came from the bottom. 8 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles came from the top. And the 10 of Swords came from the top as well. So here's the top story. 10 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. Bottom story, 4 of Wands, High Priestess, Page of Cups. And then number 8 is the 9 of Cups. That Kraken. That's the wish granted. I'll just mark that as the desire. Okay. This is so interesting. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we'll see. I didn't necessarily say that, but if that's what you get from it, then yes. Because like these cards, like they don't actually, I don't want to say they don't mean anything, but these just inform like how I build the spread. It's not really a spread in and of itself. So sometimes it comes as a series of feelings or scenarios and situations that lead to what's going to be written in that space. It's like the intention behind Siri, girl. Siri, I'm taking these out. I ain't even using these right now. Okay. I don't know when these AirPods decide to let Siri listen. Sometimes it just be so weird. Like I want to use that deck, but it doesn't. I'm actually going to use the Wild Unknown because it does feel like there's a little bit of an element of a story here. And that's the deck that I use when I storytell. So give me one moment as I grab those cards from up here. Oh, and it's right on top. I don't have to worry about smacking the selenite ball. Alright. Lovers at the bottom of the deck. The World. The Mother of Cups and the Seven of Swords at the top. From yesterday. So let's get into this Basilisk spread. Oop. Oh, wait. I'll timestamp it after I have all the cards laid out. Ooh, Ace of Cups with the 3 of Pentacles. That's that love conquers all type of energy. Nope. And then there's the 10 of Swords. Yeah, that's what happens when you go at a 3 of Pentacles endeavor solo. Right? Especially in this deck, it's a space of challenges that require cooperation to overcome. Oh, okay, yeah, got you, Miss Burnell. Got you. That was the space of. So I guess the story was like there was someone who's spent like 40 years working a job that they don't really like. They're like 5 years from retirement, and they're motivated by that. And so, although they still don't like the job, they're close enough that it makes the days less sucky. And then like that lottery would be their big break where they could quit early, or like where they could retire early, so that they don't have to suffer, right? Because like that's the energy of what they would actually prefer, and not like what they're settling for. Or no, the lottery was the Page of Cups, so that was like the way that they envisioned that happening. It's like I would have to win the lottery to like be able to do whatever, right? Type of energy. And it's not always that, right? It could be like, um, you could get a raise, I guess, and retire a little bit sooner, or I don't know, come across a sum of money, partner up with somebody, combine your finances and be good, or I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's start. Let's start. One, two. Let me make sure I know how to do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 comes from the middle. I'm gonna put it right there. And let's see what's up. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Wands. So the 3 of Wands in this deck, it's a space of us needing to go the distance by ourselves. Other people have supported us for as long as they can, but we're the only ones who can step through this portal. So this is about something that we need to do for self, that we can't rely on others to do for us. Maybe we've been a little overly reliant on other people to do some things for us. So, number 1 is the mobilization feeling. How are we feeling? Immobilized. 10 of Swords. Oh, this is everything going on in the world right now. This is everything going on in life. This is a sort of state of hopelessness. It's a lot of. Hold on, wait, no, this is the 10 of Wands. This is the 10 of Wands, sorry. So, with everything going on in the world right now, it's almost the feeling of not being able to do what it is that we prefer to do, right? Wands, it's a suit of fire, it's a suit of action, passion, and desire. And it's like we don't feel that we can act out on any of that because of the circumstances that we found ourselves in. And it's leading to these, like, kind of sort of burnt out, but it's like, however, it almost feels like a hot potato that we can't let go of, because it almost feels like the more that we're not doing it, the more that we want to. But in not being able to do it, it comes with a lot of other just not great feelings. There's a line from something that popped into my mind, but I lost it. It's like what happens to a dream deferred, or like raisin in the sun. Let me pull up my phone, because I think raisin in the sun. Wait, was raisin in the sun that play? I think it was a poem too, right? Or maybe it wasn't. There are all these things. Yeah, it was the movie that was the play. But I thought there was like there was something. Or maybe there is like a line from that. But it's basically like if you leave a grape outside in the sun, it'll dry and shrivel into a raisin. And then there's this energy of like what happens to a dream deferred. Now it's interesting because things can also sort of shrivel up and get pruny if they're exposed to too much water, right? Like how our hands get pruny. And so maybe there is also some emotion involved, but there's no. There's something unresolved. Anyway, I got 7 more cards. This is the immobilization feeling. This is what's leading us to feel kind of sort of stuck, like that mummy, right? Embalmed and wrapped up. It's not being able to act out on the things that we want to do. And then it's like not only can we not do what we want to do, there may be a lot of things that we have to do that take away from what it is that we want. So card number 2 is the Eight of Wands, which is interesting because the Eight of Wands came out here. Card number 2, Eight of Wands. This is the sacrifice. Both of these are Sagittarian energies, but it's like I feel like what we feel like we have to sacrifice is this spark. I feel like we're sacrificing all of the stuff that we wanted to do, sacrificing the things that brought us true joy and happiness and fulfillment. It's what we've lost, it's what we've given up. And it has been, and again, every experience is real and valid. Okay. I don't know if it was a poem or if it was just like a line. Because I read a line. I believe it was Langston Hughes, though. So it had to be like a dream deferred. But I thought the dream, last time I looked up a dream deferred, it was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it, yeah, yeah. Or does it shrivel up like a raisin in the sun? Oh, goodness. Okay, well, here's a little excerpt, a little blurb that popped up, and I'll read this. Again, one can ask, what happens to a dream deferred? A Raisin in the Sun teaches audiences that people don't have to yield to the negative effects of their environment. Lorraine Hansberry shows that deferred dreams can give birth to resilience, unity, and new dreams. There you go. Thank you, Miss Renell. Yeah. And it's not good for any of those energies. But also like within our own personal lives, it's like, and again, everything is valid, but what I've been doing is I've been finding things to be excited for and to be happy for. And if I didn't have anything, I've been creating stuff. Like one day it was Christmas because I wanted it to be Christmas. And I've talked about that before. But there's almost this energy of like, okay, so there's going to be no happiness, there's going to be no joy, there's going to be nothing good in the world until everything else is over. And until then, we'll just continue to suffer. And the environment has been relentless. Nothing has been easy. Everything has been on 10 plus. Everything has been on 11, honestly. And it reminds me of like when I was an RA and how like at first it was like it was never overwhelming, but I was feeling constantly whelmed. And it's like you can only hold so much for so long, right? Eventually 10 ones once held for 10 months will feel like 10 million. And over here, like again, it's like we've been sacrificing joy and happiness and peace when I feel like there are some small ways that we can give it to ourselves. Not everyone is in a situation that they can necessarily do that, and some people are in more dire situations than others. But that's what we've been sacrificing. It's this happiness, it's this joy, it's this spark of life that makes us feel like we actually kind of sort of have some say or some mobility in our own lives. Right? And then the immobilizing force right here. So it makes sense. Next is the dream slash vision of freedom. What? Oh, this just got so dark. This just got real dark. Oh goodness. Okay, maybe not necessarily. If you are having thoughts of doing things that there is no recovering from because of everything that's happening right now, I would say call the suicide hotline if it's something that you need, trigger warning. And it is kind of sort of reaching that point where it's like a lot of people are reaching their breaking points. I did not expect to see the Ten of Swords in the space of a vision of freedom. But it's like for a lot of people, it's starting to get to that point where it's there is no like it'll never be over. Exactly, Miss Vernell. Oh goodness. Oh gosh. Now for Hola, yeah. The message from the divine is the star. Okay, I love that. The message from the divine is to not give up hope, to know that even in the darkness there is light, and that, excuse me, no matter how long or dark the night, the sun will always come up again. Maybe the message is to also find those lights in the dark. When everything is so dark, search for the light. And if you can't find light, create it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And that there are still things to be hopeful for. And to do your best to bolster your faith, even in this trying time and these trying times. I feel like for a lot of people, we're putting a lot of hope and faith into like 2021 and into the election and into these other things that have the potential to bring us something better, of course. But it's almost like take hope into your own hands type of energy. So, the big break. That was the lottery, Miss Vernell. It was the big break. What? How did I get a card in reverse? These cards are all upright. The big break is the Eight of Swords in reverse. The big break is us deciding that it's almost like, hey, you know what? If everything is going to be whatever it is, then I might as well pursue what it is that I want to pursue. Right? I might as well be who I want to be. It's almost this energy of like making impacts in some way or doing something. It's like positive or negative. It's this energy of like when people feel that they can't be themselves or that they can't do whatever it is that they truly want to do. When people feel like they have absolutely no control over their lives, sometimes they start to do things that they can control. Now, on the positive side, that could be something like um, exercising a little bit more, right? Or moving a little bit more. It could be praying more, saying affirmations, doing more things to elevate yourself mentally, maybe even doing some things to elevate yourself emotionally. It's like doing the things that you have the power within your own life to do to bring you peace and calm and clarity. On the other side, it could be people who kind of sort of tend to do more drastic things, right? It's like, well, I sat down and I drank 15 bottles of the hardest liquor because I could, or, I decided to go in and yell at my kids because I could, right? That's something that I can control. I have a little bit of control over them. Let me go in there and exercise my authority on them in a way that the world is doing to me, right? It's all about the spaces where we enact power and control. But there is a way to do it that takes away from this energy without perpetrating it, right? Because it's like if you're stressed or whatever and you go dump all of that stress and frustration on somebody else, then like not only do they have to deal with what they were already dealing with, now they have to deal with this from you. And whatever little temporary momentary satisfaction you get by doing that, I would just ask if it's worth it. To some people it is. I'm like, hey, we all got our own thing. Oh goodness. I did not see. That's like them Spencers. There's. It's supposed to be a novelty deck. It's supposed to be a joke deck. And I'm like, where's the ha ha he he funny? Man, I did not expect this. So the relief slash message that we receive from this is the Five of Wands. And I think that is kind of sort of doing what I said. It's taking control in the ways that we can take control. Even if it doesn't lead to putting our whole life together, there is a little bit of um, relief almost. It's an interesting feeling that happens when we feel that we have autonomy over our own lives, where we have control and some sovereignty, right? And it isn't necessarily about needing to see how all of the pieces fit together at the time that you're doing whatever. But it's almost like, if you can learn to navigate this space, you'll be able to navigate anything. And I know that that's like, it's a statement that's so far removed, I feel like, from what people are actually going through. But again, it's like, once you start to worry about the things that you can control, it leads you to feeling like you have at least a little bit of control in your life when everything is so uncertain and chaotic. Right. And it's almost like with these two, it's like there's no like why delay what you can do today. Like these like global shifts may be a little bit further in the future, but there are things that you can do within your life that at least on a small scale will prove to you that you still have some say. Maybe not a lot, but I feel like it builds upon itself. And it's this act of defiance that begins to pull away from this energy so it's not as heavy. And when this energy isn't as heavy, it's like if you've been carrying 10 wands for 10 months and how heavy those feel. If you even lose like 2 wands, right, it could feel a lot lighter, right? And you're still carrying 8, but to drop those 2 after carrying them for so long, it could lead to potentially feeling a little bit of relief. That isn't this, like 10 of Swords type of whatever. But also, if we want to read the Ten of Swords another way, again, speaking to this, it could be that energy of, like, you know what? Like, everything outside is so bad right now that whatever I need to change within myself, I'll do it. And then enter this 8 of Swords in reverse, which is liberation. This is that feeling of like there were things that we were kind of sort of noticing about ourselves before, and maybe in this Ten of Wands space, while everyone is feeling overburdened, it's like, I could at least make this a little bit easier on me. Everyone's dealing with things that they've been putting off for a while. Or a lot of people are. Not everyone. A lot of people have been. But it's almost a question of like, okay, well, what are you going to do in that space? Are you going to do something within your life that you can control? And I feel like control is an issue that a lot of people kind of sort of talk about, right? And a lot of people, I feel like our default is to blame And it's not that they're not at least partially responsible, but I think the default is to blame the government, it's to blame the boss, it's to blame other people. And it's like, yeah, there are people who sort of like have positions of authority over you, and as a person with a position of authority over you, they do have a certain amount of control over you, but are you even controlling the things in your life that you can control? Are you even bettering yourself in the ways that you can be bettering you? It's like we so quickly and so easily jump to and jump at everything that everyone else is doing to keep us held down and held back and tied up and feeling small. But do we do it to ourselves? And like here is an opportunity to kind of sort of begin to do that. And it's almost changing the way that you fight. And it changes your relationship with the world around you. It doesn't necessarily solve all of your problems, but it moves you even a little bit closer to alignment with what it is that you perceive as your way out. And then we have the Four of Cups up here as I gotta look, I'd already lost it. The Four of Cups as the action taken. Now, I think the Four of Cups as the action taken is, again, in this position, there probably has been a lot of Six of Cups here. Well, I'm going to just look. We're going to look and see what's around the Six of Cups. Wow, the daughter and the mother of Wands are together. That's interesting. We're going to look and see what's around the Six of Cups. It's right here. The Father of Cups and the Hanged Man. This, to me, speaks of an energy of being able to resolve and reconcile things that have long since been left to kind of sort of fester. And it's like we may be thinking back on these good times in the past because everything is so not great right now. And if we don't still have that, we may be thinking to ourselves, like, what happened? Like, why is this person? Why is that? Like, if it's a person, why is this person not in my life now? How did I sabotage that? How did they? If it's a job, like, why didn't that job work out? Like, how did I sabotage that, or how did they? Did your boss actually hate you, or were you not actually like doing your job? It's like people will be late, like 20 minutes, half an hour late every single day, put in the bare minimum, get fired, and then be like, oh yeah, I lost my job because my boss hates me. Like nobody in that place like got me, nobody understood me, everyone was always like down my throat. And it's like, okay, but like you could have done more to keep that job. You could have showed up on time. You could have put in some actual work and actual effort. And again, it kind of sort of speaks to like we default a loss of control, or we default us not being in the space that we want to be in to everyone around us. And again, other people can play a part, but at some point you got a King of Cups, you got a Father of Cups step up and take charge of your own emotional self. And be like, hey, let me at least do the things that are within my power to do. Let me at least let me at least not be one of the people tearing me down and chipping away at me and making me feel powerless and helpless and hopeless. Let me at least have my own back, and let me, be on my side and be on my team. And I think the Four of Cups is like, if we're reflecting on this stuff in the past and we're seeing how it didn't work out because we weren't fully showing up in the capacity that we are able to now, because like then was a different time. It's like with all of this self stuff, it puts us in a position to accept opportunities that we didn't in the past and to create and manifest more opportunities that we weren't in alignment to in the past. And that's what this Four of Cups is. The Four of Cups is usually a card of someone sitting and waiting, rejecting something that is typically divinely brought. But it's like, now it's time for us to go after that. And it's almost like, I went through it one day, I can't remember. It's almost like the energy of the Four of Cups comes back at the 9, and it leads us to the 10. To go from 9 of Cups to the 10 of Cups, we accept that cup that we rejected at the 4. So 4 of Cups is rejecting it. The 5 of Cups is, after realizing that we've rejected that opportunity, like, we get down on ourselves. The 6 of Cups is kind of sort of a space of us thinking and imagining what our lives could have been like if we had accepted that 4. Or it can also be nostalgic, right? But either way, there's something that you lost or passed up on. 6 of Cups, you're thinking back on it and how much better everything could be. 7 of Cups is when you start pursuing substitutes for that thing that you've lost. 8 of Cups is when you realize that nothing can substitute for what it is that the divine was leading you towards. And the 8 of Cups is, that's when you walk away from the things in the past that kind of sort of kept you from accepting that cup in the first place, or from not seeing the value in it in the first place. The 9 of Cups is after you've done that healing, when you're emotionally stable and emotionally present and there for yourself. And then at the 10 of Cups, you get what you now see the value in. You get the thing that you rejected at the 4. You get what you lost because you did whatever was needed to do to fully accept that cup. And like the first time you got that 4th cup, you weren't in a position to accept it. Like, quite plainly, you weren't. If you didn't appreciate it, you weren't in a space to appreciate it. And I think that's fine. Right? Especially in a world now where everything is so available. It's hard to see the worth in something that was available to you. Because kind of sort of at the end of the day, it's like, oh, that's something available like everything else was available. Like, I want something that I don't have. And it may not necessarily be that, right? But the things that come easily to us, we don't often really fully appreciate until we lose them. But that's the energy I'm getting from the 4 of Cups. It's like after we've liberated ourselves and after we start to show up in our own lives and combat those own systems and programs and patterns of behavior within ourselves, then it puts us in a position to align closer and closer and closer to that which we didn't before. And this is an action taken, right? So this is actually going after that opportunity. And you can go after that opportunity from a healed space, or you can go after that opportunity from this lack space. But if you go after the opportunity from the lack space, you're probably going to lose it again. So, I mean, it is what it is. And then my gosh. So in the space of the desire is the Chariot. It's forward movement. It's that, now the Chariot is Cancerian energy, but in this deck it's a horse, right? This is that free horse that feels captive and tied down here. And it's like your freedom. It's like you see the sun and the moon in this chariot. You will experience externally with the sun how you lead yourself internally with the moon. And look, we got 2 black moons. And they're in the same phase. It's actually the exact same moon if you look at it. We got 2 black moons. One of them is tilted a little bit. One of them is like tilted up a little bit more. But it's the same thing. It will, like, if you're in a spot of hopelessness and powerlessness, you'll just continue to feel hopeless and powerless. And there aren't a lot of things that we can do, but there are some things that we can. And with this 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, it's about beginning to do the things that you can. Because it's like a muscle. The more you work it out, the more it'll show up when you flex it. And the stronger it'll get. To the point where even in a space where everything is so uncertain, you can flex into stability or certainty. You can hone this power that you learned to take care of your internal life and have that begin to also provide a stability in your external life. And all of this is like this is what the divine is trying to get. I don't want to say this is what the divine is trying to get us to see, because I feel like, again, I don't want to take away from the very real things that are happening right now. But there's also power in us showing up in the ways that we can, and in us doing what it is that we can do for ourselves. Even if that's just like, putting the phone down, turning the TV off, going into your room, and then just having 10 seconds of peace. Or at least 1 second, right? If you can breathe and the world isn't like ending in that second that you're breathing, there's something to be thankful for. And there's peace in that breath. And then if you can expand that 1 second to 10 seconds, it's like a massaging and a relaxing and an expansion of that peace until it covers more and more and more and more of the board, to the point where even when you come into these situations, because life continues to happen, even after we come out of this situation, there are going to be other things in life that are going to shake you, and other things in life that are going to try you. But it's like, if we can find peace in this, we'll be able to find peace in anything, and it'll really set us up better. Also, it'll put us in a position of handling the things within ourselves that we can handle. And when we handle within ourselves what we can handle, we come into a little bit more powerful of a voice when we demand for the environment to also handle us in a better way, right? If you demand more from your boss because you see your actual value, you're like, you know what, I don't come in late, I put in actual effort, and I'm doing a little bit more, or a lot of it more, than what everyone else is doing. So I think it's time for us to negotiate a pay raise, because if I'm not appreciated in this space, I will go somewhere else where I am appreciated, and you know how valuable I am. And when you show up to conversations like that, it's like, it's not ego if it's true. And it's not egoic for you to realize the worth and the value that you bring to people. It's not egoic to see the value in your presence, in your word, in your thought, opinion, and heart. And you shouldn't feel some type of way about wanting that to be recognized, right? I was just, before I came on and before I got on to look at the jobs, I was scrolling a little bit on YouTube, and I saw it was like some of Cardi B's best moments from the like 6th season of Love and Hip Hop or whatever. And I never watched Love and Hip Hop, but I watched this, and at the end, she was like, there are dudes out here who are like, I have a wife at home, but I'm looking for something fun. And she was like, well, and I got bills that I want paid. And then that's when the dude was like, if a woman is doing this for money and doing that for money, then blah, 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 whatever. But completely sidestepping the dude with the wife at home who was going to this woman, taking from this woman, taking from his wife, and not really giving much of anything to either. And she called him out on it. And I was like, okay, sis, oh snap, all right. I do want to slap a little bit of some energy oracle cards on this. I want a new oracle deck, kinda. I keep getting more and more tarot decks. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, different decks are cool because they all bring a different energy, but at the same time, I want to start balancing out more of my tarot decks with oracle decks. There's that angel of love with community. Angel of love and community at the cut. When you start to value and appreciate yourself, you start to attract people who value and appreciate you. And you'll do that at several different points along that journey of valuing and appreciating yourself. at several different points. So before you're even at that space where you can fully do it, sure, I'll just take these. Before you're even at that space where you can fully do it, you may come across some opportunities that, again, you don't see the value in at that time. But then after some time, you may. So on this side, and again, this is the Basilisk spread, right? So there is this separation between the head and the heart, and it is the Headless Horseman spread. So thank you. And then we'll take this one over here. Walking away. Bottom of the deck is envy. Why? I guess instead of envying the peace and opportunity that other people are getting in their lives, instead of reacting so strongly because we don't see a way out of our mess, it's almost like this feeling of like ignorance is bliss and envying the ignorant. I don't know why it feels like that. Oh, and that's like it's turning my stomach, honestly. I don't know why. I just started like feeling it in my stomach. It feels gross. It makes me feel sick. Yeah, that's some really. We're just gonna flip this over because that's some. I don't know what that is, but that ain't it, sis. Yeah, and I'm like starting to sweat and everything. So on this side we have journey, journey, and walking away. We have two cards of movement. I feel like walking away is going from the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups, and journey is going from the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups. But journey also, it almost implies the whole thing from Ace to King. So we do this one first. So the Angel of Love is the limitation, which is interesting, and then the man holding a heart is the desire. Oh goodness, it was this way. It honestly, it feels like it's really tied to this energy up here. Because I guess with the Angel of Love as a limitation, it's like not feeling. I didn't timestamp this. Oh my gosh. I forgot to timestamp that. With the Angel of Love as a limitation, it's almost a feeling of like being neglected or forgotten, or feeling that way, that, you know, being abandoned by spirit. And it's like, why is everyone else getting this? Or why is there anyone else who's not feeling like this when everything is so whatever it is? And if you would, I don't know, come into a little bit of an Ace of Swords realization of like I understand that everything outside of you is what it is, but what are you doing within your ability, within your capabilities, to bring you some of that peace that you crave? Are you doing anything to put yourself in a position of expressing and receiving love, if that's what you're envious of in others? Like, are you even vulnerable and open? Are you doing any of that work that you don't see someone else doing? Right? Because we don't know what anyone else's journey is, and we don't know what they're walking away from. And even if we know what they're walking away from, we don't know the ties that they have. And it's like, you know, you can have your own experience, but your own experience is your own experience. And not everyone handles and experiences things the same way. Right? And so you can't really say like, oh, well, if I was doing that, then it would be easy. Like, oh, they have it easy. They have it easy. You don't know what people have done to get to where they are. And you don't know what goes on inside their minds and inside their hearts. And just because they came to the position to do whatever they needed to do within themselves to put themselves in a chariot energy does not mean that they have it any easier than you. Maybe they're just willing to do what it takes for them to get where they want to be, and you're not. Sorry, but it's true. Like, before you want to stop and like criticize somebody else, or like be envious or jealous of somebody else, it's like, well, like if you knew the work that they did, I think you would envy them a lot less. Well, then you just envy their ability to do it, I guess. And a lot of times things like envy come from it's lacking the self. And that's what this is the energy of addressing. It's addressing the things in you instead of it's like in a healthier, more positive way, in a way that actually gets you where you want to be. Taking control in the ways that you can take control instead of just feeling so powerless all the time. And again, like there may not be a lot of things that you can do, but hey, if you got, a bagel and you can toast it or not toast it, like, you know what? Bagels are always toasted, so today I'm going to not toast my bagel. I don't know. Wherever you can feel that you have power and control in your life in whatever way. Because, like, there are choices and decisions that we still make. Some of them we don't necessarily see. Sure. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it is what it is. Six of swords. Six of swords. What? Six of pentacles. Six of pentacles. Six of wands at the bottom. Oh my goodness. I'm all discombobulated. Financial constraints at the cut. Woo. All right. I'm starting to feel better. Shuffle that out. Okay. Oh, come on. So we have anxiety, which is valid. Door to value. Oops, Lich is on the floor now. And second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Ariel has been coming out a lot, so we're actually going to read second chakra, Archangel Ariel. But I love that Door to Value and Archangel Ariel came out together because it's almost like it would oh snap, is this a position that I'm interested in? They're holding an info session on Thursday. Illumina, and I love that name. $30-minute. Oh, okay. One second, y'all. What? We've built a culture fueled by innovation, collaboration, and openness. Also, I've been looking at that a lot more. Like um, the way that businesses market themselves and like kind of sort of what they stand for. I've been looking at that, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we're the top whatever, making this much money," and I'm like, "Okay, but like, what do y'all stand for?" And I know that that's supposed to be enticing or whatever, but like, what are your values? What is your mission? Right? Like, why are you worthy of me investing my time and energy and effort for dollars? Like, I'm not interested in dollars. And it's interesting because I was yeah, I'm trying to go. I was like, I couldn't remember what I was doing. I was helping one of my friends do with the mock interview before he had his interviews a few years ago. And he was like, what did he say? He's like, I think the company is he's like, I think your company would benefit me in this way or something like that. I was like, well, you're supposed to say how you gonna benefit the company because they're the one with the job offer, they're the one with the money, and you're going to them. But honestly, it's like that's not true. It's mutual. Both people are supposed to be benefiting. And I talked to one of the people. I talked to another dude who works at the university, and like I was a student worker, and he was also in the building, and so that's how I got to know him. And I asked him to like give me some tips and stuff, and he was like, like one of the things that he said that blew my mind is that when you show up to a job interview, like you're also interviewing the company, right? And so he was talking about all this stuff that I should like ask and say. And I was like, "What? I can do that?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like if you're going to be investing your time, especially if you're turning it into a career or that's something that you want to do, why would you not like they're looking for you just as much as you're looking for them. They're going to benefit from having you just as much as you'll benefit from having them. And there is this space of us actually showing up. And I think that's the door to value. And Ariel, ooh, man, that pain just like shot up my spine or whatever. I don't know. Oh, I need to sit up. Oh, yeah, I got to sit up because if I don't sit up straight, my back will start hurting. But, they should benefit each other. And when we come into that door to value energy, we'll start manifesting something different because the second chakra is a space of creation, y'all. But it shines at the solar plexus, right? And so, whatever distortions you have in your sacral or even the root, that's what you're shining out with your solar plexus. And so, when you do that, it puts you out in the world in a different way. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel, intimacy and creativity. The second chakra vibrates in the energy of the beautiful angel Ariel. She sends a bright orange energy promoting inspired creativity and greater comfort with intimacy. When this card appears upright, it's urging you to get creative. Let yourself reach out into unexplored areas of self expression and new projects that may have a more creative approach. This is also a time when the energies of closeness with others and nurturing yourself can flow more freely. You can now open yourself to the emotional intimacy that may be coming your way. So nurture yourself and be ready to receive the affection and camaraderie of the resonant souls around you. And again, when you're in the space of this door to value, you'll get more and more and more souls around you that resonate to the truer frequencies of who you are. And then you don't have to have as much anxiety about the people that you surround yourself with, right? Because, I mean, if you find yourself surrounded by snakes, you may be a snake in some ways. And that started to come out a while ago, actually. And we all have snakish tendencies, right? Nobody's perfect. But it's to address those things within the self so that, we can stop manifesting that and bringing it into our lives, or the divine doesn't have to keep sending it into our lives for us to get and see who we are in our worth, right? The affirmation here is: my second chakra is open to its perfect healthy state. I am creative and self-nurturing, more and more comfortable with the gentle waves of intimacy coming my way. And I've been seeing her a lot lately, a lot. And I've never read her entry. I don't even think I really talk about it. I'm just like, oh, there's Ariel. Archangel Ariel, bottom of the deck, believe it or not. Seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel. Seventh chakra, Uriel. Ariel and Uriel. Some people say that they're actually the same. And that one is the feminine expression and the other is the masculine expression of that similar energy. But I guess, Ariel would be more grounded intimacy within the self, and others, Uriel would be more of an intimacy with spirit that leads to that heightened intuition and everything else. Potentially. Seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel, is spirit connections, intuition, and inspiration. There's that inspiration again. The beautiful angel Uriel, also called the fire of God, wears a brilliant crystal crown vibrating with a passionate connection to the divine. There's some passion, second chakra, I'm telling y'all. She brings great power to your seventh energy center, which is called the crown chakra and is located at the top of your head. This card upright indicates an open and free-flowing channel of information and inspiration from the wonderful beings in the spirit world. This could also be a time of great intuition for you and guidance from your higher awareness, so allow yourself to quiet your mind and listen. Now is a great time to get connected. The assistance from spirit is great, and whether it's the presence of an ascended master, a powerful angel like Uriel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, their love and willingness to assist is always there. They even open you to the Akashic Records, or Alaya consciousness, the storehouse of all information. This connection is open now, and you will find that your own spirit, I was like, you own spirit, what? You will find that your own spirit and the spirits of those around you will be able to provide the answers you seek and the blessings you desire and deserve. And again, with this door to value, the more you see and align with the truth of who you are, the more you attract to you those who not only see it within themselves, but can also see it in you. And then it's a much more harmonious and symbiotic community instead of, a community where everyone has an ego, and like, even if other people want other people to succeed, it's like they don't want other people to succeed more than they succeed, or like if they're starting to hit a wall, then like they're intimidated or envious at your success or whatever. It's like all of that stuff, it's like goodbye. It's about attracting into your experience those who actually align with where you're going. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. The affirmation here is, my seventh chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state. Love and inspiration from spirit and my own intuition flow fully to me now. So I'm just going to pull a card. It'll be this one. Four of Swords and the Six of Wands. The peace that you create for yourself within these troubled times. Y'all see this little lamb? This little lamb with all them swords up there. Y'all see the little lamb? The peace that you can create in this will bring you so much victory down the line. And again, maybe it was here. I think it was actually on. It was on my the other channel when I did the Jupiter Direct thing, and it was like, the peace that you cultivate now will smooth the energetic pathways for your blessings to come in. When you're more frantic in your heart and in your mind, it muddies that water, and it stirs up these tempests in the sea around you. Right? If you're an island in the middle of the ocean, then it's like the weather around the island is affected by the state of that island. And things can't flow to you if there's no lighthouse and it's super, super stormy. Right? If there's this giant... Oh, hold up. I gotta make sure I didn't put these in. No, I didn't. Okay. Right? Yeah, I didn't. If there's this giant... Well, now I gotta see what this card is, because I looked at it. Angel of Love! Exactly. But this time, not from a lack space, right? So she can actually, do her job. She can't bring you anything that you're resistant to. Or she can try, but you'll just Four of Cups it again. So it'd be like, what's the point? What was I saying? If there's conflict on the island, there's going to be storms on the sea and the ocean around you, and nothing's going to be able to navigate in to your experience, especially if you ain't even got no lighthouse. You ain't got no lighthouse and you whipping up storms. How is anything supposed to get to you? And so do what you can. Do what's within your ability to calm those stormy seas. To storm those calmy seas. Like, that's what we don't want to do. To calm those stormy seas and to allow it to all flow in. And a little bit of mental peace and clarity goes a long way, even in the midst of um, those external storms. Also, with Ariel, it may be time to get creative. Ariel may be emphasizing the fact that whatever is coming into your experience, it might not be what you initially thought it would be. And you may not go in a direction that you initially thought. But with Uriel, it's like, Spirit will let you know. God will let you know. The angels will let you know. The universe will give you synchronicities if you don't believe in any of that, to let you know what's for you. Your intuition will let you know. And not like that, like self-limiting stuff, not that voice of worry and anxiety, not any of that stuff. Like your actual intuition, like your real life intuition, and not that like devil on the shoulder type of stuff will let you know. And it's like, wow, like, so I'm really not gonna do the thing that I was originally gonna do. And like, yeah, no, you've grown, you've changed, you've evolved. What you used to do with your time and money, or what you used to have value in, it may be changing, because it's like we're taking what we value, we're taking our minds and our hearts away from the mass media, right? And by mass media, it's the movies and the stories that create the dreams that we live up to. It's the models and the magazines. It's the advertisements. It's everything else. And we're like sitting ourselves down, like, okay, well, like, what do I actually want? What actually matters to me? What's important to me? And what do I actually value about myself, instead of what makes other people money, or what puts me in a place to be used by other people, right? And it's not that they're necessarily different, but it's about you having a perspective of you based in and around you, instead of a perspective of you based on how you show up in the world and how you're perceived by the world, right? Door to value. Oh, my back. Oh, I need to sit up straight. Okay, so that's all I got today. That was fun. I guess I'll try to watch this back. And oh, wait. I'm gonna click into here really quick so I can watch it, and then I'll timestamp in the description box and in the comments when the read actually started. So I just need to click in before I close this video, because if I don't, I won't be able to find it on my phone, and there'll be a lot more hoops to jump through, and it gets mad annoying, honestly. Until it's like published, and then after it's published, it's like, oh well. So I hope everyone has a good whatever whenever y'all see this, and I hope y'all are acting in alignment to make the good even better. Here it is. I was like, why can't I find this? All right. Bye.